Hello and welcome back to Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a gaming PC Neopixel side panel wall mount with using an Arduino Nano. Let's get started. A long time ago I made this project, and this side panel came from an old gaming PC that I used to have. That gaming PC stopped working, so I decided to salvage it for parts, and then use the side panel to create a wall mount device. You can see that it's very old, and you can see it collected a lot of dust inside. So what I want to do is I want to modify it, and clean up the dust, and repaint it. And the paint is also scratched up, and I don't really like the color of the paint nor the texture of the paint. And if you look over here, it used a USB cable that connected to that PC cooling fan that uses different color of LEDs, and the wiring job that I did was really terrible, and the size of the panel is also not very good. You can see that the wood is sticking out of it, so this needs a lot of work and a lot of modification. And if I look at the inside, the wire isn't really glued into place very well because I didn't glue it in very well. Same problem over here, and you can see that this PC cooling fan is also very dirty. The wood, as you can see, is not very good, and it's not the right size, and you can see there's a lot of gaps, and it just does not look very nice. I want to do an upgrade and make this look a lot better. And now I want to plug in the PC cooling fan, and I want to show you what the PC cooling fan looks like. You can see that the LEDs light up inside, not very bright, nor very clear because of how dirty the fan is and how dirty that screen is. And the LEDs, I think they look okay. I may replace them, or maybe not, because the LEDs, I think they look okay, but I think they may look a lot better and more clear after I clean everything up. If I remove all of the dust that's on the screen and all of the dust that is on the PC cooling fan, maybe the LEDs will shine brighter. So yeah, let's see what it looks like after I clean it up. And this chrome design needs to be polished because it's not very shiny. What I also want to do to modify this device is I want to add some Neopixels going all the way around this perimeter. I think doing that will make it look very unique and very cool looking. And the combination of this fan can also be cleaned up and it will look very nice. And I also want to connect the entire circuit off from one power source. And of course, re-glue these wires or perhaps replace these wires. I have to see how it goes as I work. And this little power supply is still very good, so I'm probably going to still use that. Or leave the option of keeping this USB cable, so not only that I can plug into the wall to power the device, I can also plug it into my computer to power this device. So that way I have two power sources. Not only that I want to repaint this panel, you can also see these little grooves that have these little designs inside, and I think it would be a good idea to paint those a different color to make it stand out and make it look more unique looking. Now let's go ahead and work on this project, and let's get started. First, what I want to do is take this entire thing apart, starting with the PC cooling fan. Simply unscrew these screws, which will remove this chrome design, the screen, and the PC cooling fan. Chrome design is now removed, and you can see that I need to polish it since it has a lot of scratches. This little screen here is very dirty, so what I want to do is clean it. And I also want to take this PC cooling fan and pull it out of the device. Simply pulls out just like this. And this PC cooling fan is very dirty, so what I need to do is clean it up, and also clean up this grill. Put it to the side, clean it up, remove some of this old glue that is stuck to the plexiglass. Take the putty knife to scrape it off carefully, and it easily comes off just like this. And there's some more glue that's on the wood, remove that. And now what I want to do is sandpaper this, because there's a chance that I may reuse this wood since this bottom piece looks okay. Next, what I need to do is remove these plastic pop rivets. These little pop rivets is what's holding the plexiglass and the side panel together. Take something pointy, push down on this little point, lifts up this little piece, and you can simply pull it out. And now there's a second piece to it. Reach underneath and push it up. Takes a little bit of force, and then you need something else to lift it out a little bit more. And there the plastic pop rivet comes out just like this. And now repeat the same process all the way around. So far I've done most of it. All I need to do is remove those little bottom pieces, and then the plexiglass and side panel will separate. Looking at the plexiglass, I can see there are some scratches and some smudges that I need to clean up. Some of it to buff out and to clean up. Luckily, some of that is underneath the unseeable parts of the panel, which is very good. But most of it where it's visible, I need to buff those out. Next, I'm going to take a putty knife and scratch off all of this ugly paint, so that way it can become easier to repaint. And there you have it, all of this ugly paint is now scratched off. You can see that it's a little smooth because I also used another tool, which is this little brush that is attached to a drill. This little brush that's attached to the drill allows me to remove all of the small pieces of paint that I can't quite reach, nor be able to scratch off that easily, and making the surface a lot smoother. And I also took the sandpaper block and simply sanded the entire surface. Doing this will make it nice and smooth and very even. And it will also make the paint stick better. And now it's time to remove these pieces of wood. Simply take a screwdriver and unscrew all of the screws. Basically, see a screw, take a screw, see a screw, take a screw, and remove all the screws I can find. And there, all the screws are now removed, and it looks just like this. Now it's time to repaint it. Before I go paint this, I want to mention that I have these old pieces of wood. I can use these old pieces of wood for something else in the future, so I'm just going to simply put those to the side. And I have these new pieces that are much nicer and much cleaner, and if you look at them, they are much thinner than the other pieces. Since these pieces are a lot thinner, I can easily hide it behind the frame and it will not be noticeable like the other pieces were. And now it's time to repaint it. I have right here this black shiny metallic paint, and I think this looks a lot better. It's a lot shinier and it sprays on a lot smoother. Simply spray it completely and do a couple coats. Wait for it to dry and it comes out just like this. And as you can see, this paint looks a lot better than the old one. I really like how shiny this looks. This looks very nice and perfect for this frame. Next, I'm going to take these different colored paints and paint inside of the grooves. Doing this will give more detail to the frame, which will make it look a lot nicer. Simply take a little bit of the paint and paint inside of the groove. Wait for it to dry, and it comes out looking just like this. I really like the detail. This gives it more detail and more character to the frame. And now it's time to reattach this plexiglass back to the frame. As you can see, it's a little dirty and messed up, so I need to go and clean it up. And there, now it's cleaned up, and now it's time to reattach it to the frame. Simply place it back underneath, just like this. And as you can see, the plexiglass is a lot shinier. Next, take these plastic pop rivets and put them back into place, so that way the frame and the plexiglass can reattach. Take the first piece, put it in like this. Push it all the way through, between the metal frame and the plexiglass. Goes in, just like this. And now take the second piece of the pop rivet, put it through the hole, push it through all the way, and there, now it's attached. Now repeat the same process all the way around. And there, it should look just like this. Very nice. Next, what I need to do is polish this chrome design. You can see there's a lot of smudges and scratches on it, and I have right here a Dremel with this polishing brush and this polishing clay. Take the polishing brush, rub it on the clay, and simply polish this chrome design. And there, as you can see, it's nice and shiny. Next, I need to clean up this RGB LED PC cooling fan and simply spray some rubbing alcohol on it. Since rubbing alcohol does not harm electronics and it evaporates instantly, and since it's liquid temporarily, it washes off the dirt very easily. And then you can wipe it down and it dries up instantly, leaving no moisture whatsoever. Since rubbing alcohol dries up easily, use the toothbrush to brush in between the fans, brush it just like this, wipe it down, and there, it comes out nice and clean. Next, what I'm going to do is work on this power cable, remove some of this old glue that is attached to it, and since it's attached very poorly, I'm just simply going to pull it off. Pull it just like this, and you can see that it's not soldered very well because back then I did not know what I was doing. Simply cut it off just like this. Next, I'm going to go work on this USB cable, and I've decided that I don't want this USB cable because in my opinion it does not look very nice and it's a little bit too short, and I don't like the way the wires are attached to it, so I'm going to simply discard it. So instead, I'm going to use this brand new USB cable, and as you can see, this USB cable is much nicer. I can easily plug it into a computer or plug it into this phone charger, so it gives me two options still. And I can also connect this USB cable to an Arduino Nano, and this Arduino Nano can connect to the entire circuit and power the entire circuit. And if I ever want to, I can reprogram the Arduino Nano when it's connected to a computer to change the animation of the LEDs. And if you want to see how I made this Arduino Nano proto board, click on the annotation card above. So far, I've decided that this grill here, I could use it because yes, it can look nice, which is okay, but I can also not use it. The reason why I don't want to use it is because I can be able to put the PC cooling fan behind this little chrome design, and you can be able to see the chrome design light up a lot better, although the grill will also look nice and it will still light up the same way. But in my opinion, I think not using the grill looks a lot better, because you can see the option, you can see that this looks good with or without. But for me, in my opinion, I'm going to do without, because I think it looks a lot nicer without, as you can see. Next, I'm going to take these wooden borders and attach it to the metal frame. Simply take one, place it right here, make sure that it fits perfectly in the frame. Take all of them and reattach it. Place one right here. So this piece right here fits perfectly. And then take this piece, put it inside. And this side right here goes on top. That fits in perfectly too. So far they all fit perfectly. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the first one, put it in place, make sure it fits in perfectly flush, take this little marker and make a mark where the screw holes are going to be. And there we go, the mark is made, and now we know where the screws are going to go. Next I'm going to take this little pointer, make a small dent in the very center of the dot. Just like this, and now take a drill and then put the drill right into the dot, and the reason for that is to prevent the drill from going all over the place. This little dent right here guides the drill, so that way I can make a pilot hole. So it's very important to make pilot holes to prevent the screws from splitting the wood. And now all of the pilot holes are now made. Take the piece of wood, put it inside, and make sure everything is aligned properly. Take the first screw, screw it into place. And I'll screw the rest of the screws into place. And there, it should look just like this. And I'll repeat the same process with the rest of the pieces of wood. Now a closer look, you can see that this piece of wood sticks out. That's very unfortunate. In order to fix that, take a very sharp knife and whittle the wood. Whittling the wood will allow me to have the proper form of the wood, because whittling right here allows this part to be a little smaller and shorter. And the reason for that is so that way I can place it in and it goes right over the plexiglass, because the plexiglass is what was pushing the wood out. So now, since whittling the wood allows a little space over the wood, allowing it to go over the plexiglass, making this piece of wood nice and flush with the frame. And now repeat the same process as before. Make all the marks, drill out the pilot holes, and then put in the screws. And there, the wooden frame is now attached, and it should look just like this. Next, spray a puddle of spray paint into this plastic lid, and then take a paintbrush, and then simply paint over the screws, so that way the screws can blend into the frame. And as you can see, in my opinion, I think this looks very nice, although not painting it can also look nice, but I like this better. And as you can see, I've also painted the wood. This actually looks very nice because it blends into the frame. And now it's time to work on the LEDs. And as you can see, the LEDs work perfectly fine with the Arduino Nano. So everything works very well. So what I want to do is make a quick test by connecting these alligator clips to the PC cooling fan that uses 5 volts and connect it directly to the 5 volts of the Arduino Nano. I want to see if it can be able to power 2 circuits together without any issues. Plug it in, plug in the positive, plug in the negative, connect the negative to negative, positive to positive. Oh wait, the alligator clip is broken. Replace it with a new one, and as you can see, it works. Looking at it in the dark, it looks very nice, so connecting 5 volts from the PC cooling fan, connecting to the 5 volts of the Neopixels, works just fine. There is no interference and there's no issues. And now these are the rest of the items that I need to make for this project. So far, I have the RGB LED PC cooling fan, cleaned up, ready to go. And this right here is a WS2812 Neopixel, and I have exactly 90 Neopixels. And I have right here the Arduino Nano, and I have a 220 ohm resistor. It's very important to put a 220 ohm resistor for the Neopixels. This will allow the current to not damage the Neopixels, allowing the Neopixels to last longer. Next, I'm going to take the RGB LED PC cooling fan and the chrome design and place it over this circle. Place it underneath, connecting it just like this. I have right here 4 PC cooling fan screws. Screw down the chrome design, attaching it to the metal plate and attaching it to the PC cooling fan. And there, all parts are now attached. And as you can see, it's a very strong attachment. Holds into place just like this. And as you can see, the chrome design is attached very well. Next, I want to take this eye hook, and I want to make sure it's perfectly centered onto the frame. Take a measurement, and find the center. And it looks like right here is the center. Make a little mark. Place it right here, which is okay. Take a metal pointer and make a pilot hole. Go very deep. And then take the eye hook and screw it into place. Simply twist it and it screws into place just like this. And there, the eye hook is now screwed into place. Next, I'm going to take a big drill bit and make a big hole on the bottom of the frame. So that way I can take this USB cable, slide it through the hole, and attach it to the Arduino Nano. And as you can see, the USB cable is almost the same size as the drill bit, although it's a little bit bigger. That's an easy fix. I can take a very sharp knife and whittle off some of the plastic that is on this USB cable. Carefully whittle off the corners. And there, now it's the right size. And I'll take the drill and drill out the hole. And there, the hole is now made. Clean it up a little bit by going back and forth, side to side. And now, take the USB cable, slide it through, and it fits perfectly. Next, solder tin the input of the Neopixels. And there, it is now solder tinned. Next, work on the Arduino Nano. Place a 220 ohm resistor over to D13 or data 13. Put it in, just like this. Clamp it down, solder it into place, cut off the excess. Shorten the lead on the resistor. Solder tin it. So far, I want to take the Arduino Nano and place it right here. Unfortunately, the wires of the PC cooling fan is actually too short. I just need it to be 2 more centimeters, and then I could be able to attach it to the Arduino Nano. So what I'm going to do is replace the wires that are on the PC cooling fan with some longer wires. Simply lift them up, just like this. Remove the positive wire and replace it with a longer positive wire. Remove the negative wire and replace it with a longer negative wire. And there, the wires are now replaced. And now simply take the wires and tuck them back underneath. Next, I'm going to solder tin these 3 extra wires. Next, I'm going to take these 3 new wires and solder it to the input of the Neopixel. Solder the black wire over to the ground, green wire over to the data input, red wire over to 5 volts. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take the shrink tube and place it over the data input wire. Solder tin the data input wire. And then solder it over to the 220 ohm resistor. Take the shrink tube, place it over the resistor and the exposed lead. Shrink the tube so it stays in place. Next, plug in the 5 volt wire from the Neopixels over to 5 volts of the Arduino Nano. Clamp it down, solder it into place. Take the ground wire from the Neopixels and place it over to ground of the Arduino Nano. Clamp it down, solder it into place. And there, this part of the circuit is now complete. Now, normally I would cut off the excess wires, but since I don't need to do that, I want to keep these wires exposed because that's going to connect to the PC cooling fan. Next, remove the insulation, solder tin it, and I'll solder the positive over to the 5 volts, and I'll solder the negative over to the ground, and there, the circuit is now complete. The PC cooling fan is now connected to the Neopixels. And as you can see, everything works just fine. Next, figure out where everything needs to go. So far, the Arduino Nano should go right about here. Keep it plugged in so that way I have an idea of where it goes. Take some hot glue and glue down the Arduino Nano. I want to make sure it's glued into place right here so that way it can stay hidden behind the frame. And now finally take the Neopixels and place them all the way around the frame. Take the Neopixels, Push them down firmly so that way they can stay behind the plastic pop rivets and stay perfectly attached to the frame. Next, take some hot glue to glue down the wires and to start gluing down the Neopixels. Take the Neopixels and put them all the way around. Make sure that they go in nice and tight. Go all the way around, and it should connect just like this. And now it's time to take some hot glue to glue down the Neopixels. Glue it into place just like this. Put a small amount behind the Neopixels. Press down to glue it into the wooden frame. And as you can see, the end of the Neopixels goes right here. Leave it slightly above, so that way I can still plug in the USB cable to the Arduino Nano. Glue it into place so it stays in this position. And there, the project is now complete. Now let's go ahead and test it out. Take the USB cable, plug it in. And there, as you can see, it works. As you can see, this looks very nice. Now let's see what this looks like in the dark. This looks very nice in the dark, and as you can see, I have this device plugged into my computer, and this computer is where I go and edit all of my videos. And now let's have a closer look. This looks very nice. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own gaming PC Neopixel side panel wall mount with using an Arduino Nano. Thank you for watching SciTi Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified of future SciTi Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.